Good evening. I call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that a notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. At this time, if you please stand for our pledges and a word of prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. If you please remain standing. With us tonight is Deacon Paul Cook with Ascension Catholic Church. We'll be offering our open prayer this evening. Mr. Cook, thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and I am Deacon Paul Cook from Ascension Catholic Church. It's my honor this evening to start our meeting with a brief prayer. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life and all who serve or participate in our school district in any way, most especially our administrators, our teachers, and our hardworking students. We thank you for all those who have taught us, most especially our parents, our teachers, and our supervisors. And we thank you for our community that supports our schools financially and with volunteers. As we gather this evening to make decisions for the good of all our teachers and students, we ask for your Holy Spirit to guide us in every way to make wise decisions. May we carry out our discussions with mutual respect and a desire to seek first to understand. We ask for your protection from any and all illnesses that might prevent us from carrying out our work to serve you and give you glory. And Lord, we most especially ask for prayers this evening for the men and women, our first responders who are responding to this wildfire this evening. May you protect them and help them to control this fire quickly. And we ask, and please grant our petitions through your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, Mr. Edwards, would you please introduce our student speaker for this evening?
Yes, sir, that would be my privilege. Our student speaker on our character education trait for January is loyalty. We'd like to invite Catalia Francis Moden to the microphone. She's a fourth grader at Lost Pines Elementary School, and this evening she'll speak about loyalty. Her teachers report that she is an exemplary student, and they are taken back by how mature she is and the emotional and socially. Catalia has a keen awareness of her surroundings and is always looking for ways to help her classmates and her teachers. She is selfless and well-liked by everyone. Catalia is a member of the Lost Pines PALS program, and she's also a part of this year's yearbook club, and she sings in the choir. Catalia's mother is Tahir Moden, and then we'll have Catalia introduce us to whoever else is with her this evening. Go ahead, honey.
Hello, my name is Catalia Modine. I am a fourth grade student at Lost Pines Elementary. What is loyalty? Being loyal means we are committed, and being committed means that we make promises and keep them. We do what we say. We will stand up for people we care about. Having respect towards others and yourself is a key ingredient to success. It is made up of many strong qualities. It is the heart of all qualities and the duty amongst all duties. We can strive to achieve this every day by treating people around us with loyalty, respect, and truth. Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. A loyal person is always ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of others to whom she or he is loyal. So what are you loyal to? A friend, family, your country, or school? Strive to be a loyal friend, brother, sister, or student. If you are loyal to these people or family, they will in return be loyal to you.
Thank you, Catalia. That was great. Who's with you today?
My mom, my dad, and my brother.
Welcome, Mom and Dad and brother. Thank you for coming and sharing Catalillo with us this evening. All right, at this time, what we'd like to do is move on to our special recognitions and presentations. We'll be kicking the evening off this evening with a recognition of fine arts students. Presenter is Luis Chico Portillo, our Director of Fine Arts.
Good evening, Board, Mr. Edwards. Happy New Year. I wanted to start off by saying how awesome it is that you allow us this opportunity in your meeting to acknowledge the great work that our fine arts teachers and our students are doing. Tonight we recognize the achievements of the middle school and high school band students as they auditioned for the very competitive all-region band. This is the first competition usually of the year where the kids actually are competing head-to-head. It's not a band against another band or to a UIL standard. It's head-to-head. They've learned very challenging music, and every student plays the same music, so they're being rated, they're being ranked, and it's really, really awesome. Let's see here. The first group that I need to introduce is from Bastrop Middle School, and I ask you to please welcome Mr. Alex Ortega, the head director.
Hey there, my name is Alex Ortega. I'm the head band director at Bastrop Middle School, and I have to say I love my job, and I love my job a lot because of these kids right here. And so today we are recognizing and celebrating and congratulating the 14 students that we had make the region band. This is one of the highest, if not the highest honor that a middle school band student can have in middle school band. So this is great that we had so many students work hard and succeed, and I'm very happy to showcase them tonight. This is a picture up on the screen right before they had their 2 concerts back in December, and it was fantastic. Each band played multiple pieces. It was wonderful. So at this time, I'd like to welcome the students. We have about half here tonight. I'd like to welcome them on stage, so come on up. We have Aiden, Emily, JC, Clara, Kaylee, Kylie, Nayeli, and Cash. So when the students audition, they're competing against hundreds of other students in the other districts, including Hayes, Austin ISD, Dripping Springs, etc. And these students really achieved, and we had students make the all-region second band, which are pictured here, and we have some on stage. So we have JC on the tuba, Emma on alto saxophone, Nayeli on flute, Cash on trumpet, Henry on saxophone, Aiden on French horn, Leonardo on trumpet, Kaylee on clarinet, and Carlos on euphonium. And some of these are 7th graders, which is extremely impressive. So as a 7th grader to make the region band, it's awesome. Next slide, we have the first band. We had 5 students make the top band, which is a huge, this is the top honor you can get. So we have Kylie on clarinet, Clara on clarinet, Emily on flute, Melanie on flute, and Tristan on the French horn. And so this is the highest honor, once again, you can make, which is incredible. So give these kids a round of applause. I want to thank the board and Mr. Edwards for your support over the years. I do want to brag a little bit on our program and how much these kids work throughout the year. And 2 years ago, we had 3 students make the all-region band. This year we had 14, so it's a huge jump. And it's support from Mr. Portillo and financial support and otherwise that we get from the board. So I want to thank you so much. This last picture was a fun lunch that we had before the concert at Torchy's Tacos. They had a great time. We ate way too much. And yeah, thanks again for your support. Yep.
Congratulations. Yes, great job. Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Next, I have the pleasure of filling in for band directors Jackie Fullerton and Paul Flettes, who are ill today. I actually got to sub their classes, so this is the second time I get to see these wonderful students today. Would you please welcome across the stage Mr. Jerry Cordova and Mackenzie Roberts? Again, these two students did outstanding work. Their pictures are up there in the chairs that they placed. We're very, very proud of them. Can I fill in with a picture for them too? Can I get one without you?
Congratulations.
congratulations. Good job.
Next, I asked Peyton Grover, Mr. Peyton Grover, to come up. He's the Associate Director of Bastrop High School Band, and he will introduce his students.
Hi, thank you for being here this evening, and thank you to Mr. Edwards and to the board, and to all of our fine administrators at Bastrop High School for supporting our kids. So this year, we had 29 students from Bastrop High School audition for the all-region band. That is a record number of students auditioning for the region band since I've been here. And of those 29, we had 8 selected to be in the Region Symphonic Band. And much like Mr. Ortega said, this is one of the highest honors a high school student can receive in the band world. And we had 8 wonderful, hardworking students that earned a spot in the Region Band. So we have 5 of them here today, but I'm going to go ahead and read everyone's names, even if they're not here. So we had Peyton Kahn on flute, Jasmine Flores on flute, Alejandra Ramirez on clarinet, Adrian Penagawa on clarinet, Adrian Duggar on trumpet, Harley Martin on French horn, Bryce Smith on trombone, and Cooper Cervantes on tuba. So let's give a hand to these wonderful, fine students, and they're going to come up on stage here for a picture. I couldn't agree with Mr. Ortega more. These students are the absolute best part of the job, and they make coming to work every day really, really, really fun. And they're a blast to work with, and I could not be more proud of the progress they've made. So once again, thank you for supporting us and our wonderful endeavors, and thank you to Ms. Gabriel and our local administration at Bastrop High School for all of their wonderful support. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Congratulations. Great job. Thank you.
And our last fine arts recognition will belong to Cedar Creek High School Band. I ask that Associate Director Mr. Seth Martin come to the podium with his students. I'll let him introduce them.
Good afternoon. My name is Seth Martin Davis. I'm the Associate Director at Cedar Creek High School. I'm here to honor 5 students from Cedar Creek High School who had this past month successfully auditioned for the Region 18 bands. One thing we really value about these experiences, because you've seen several different presentations, is that the collaborative element, once the students have made the ensembles, is so rich. In a lot of other activities, you compete, and then you're kind of at the top of the pile. Here, the students get ranked and placed into different ensembles, and then they actually have to work together and make music with students from all over this area. So that's one thing that I know in reflecting with the students from all schools that they really value about this experience, meeting new people, making new connections, and making great music. So the 3 students we have today here are Jackie Banda, who made the 5A wind ensemble, Katia Campuzano, who also made the 5A wind ensemble, and Haley LaFuente, who also made the 5A wind ensemble. Who is not currently present today, but I think we have a picture of those two gentlemen. They're great friends, is Thomas Wilhelm and Yahir Madrigal. They both made the 6A wind ensemble, which they ranked by auditioning for the Regent Orchestra. So they auditioned a few weeks before the band audition and made the orchestra, so they were able to perform with just a different set of instrumentation and do music that was a little bit older, so they qualified up for that 6A rank. And actually, Thomas Wilhelm, who's the gentleman on the right, just a week and a half ago achieved the just incredible experience of being an all-state musician. So he, along with the three musicians you see here, and Yahir attended area auditions, which is the next qualifying round for region band. The next thing is area, and Thomas was ranked in the region 4th, and then on Sunday we found out in the state of Texas he is ranked 15th on French horn. So he's actually going to be playing with one of my old teachers from Indianapolis, Sue Hahn, out in San Antonio in about 3 weeks. So he is really excited for that, and I'm excited to see those things come together. So anyway, that's a huge achievement for Thomas and for all the other students here. So if we could just recognize them and give them a round of applause. And also, I just wanted to thank our administration and the board for all of their support. We would not be able to do any of this without the both material and enthusiastic support from all of you. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Well done. Thank you all. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
And they're out of step. Board, I want to thank you again sincerely from the bottom of my heart for always allowing us time to recognize these fantastic students and these teachers. And if you love band, which a lot of us do, the best and brightest of both Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek High School will be performing here on this stage this Saturday at 7 o'clock. You're welcome to come. I invite you to come. They're going to have a world-class conductor. His name is Chico Portillo.
I heard there was a question about the conductor.
But the staff has asked me to do that Friday night rehearsal and all day Saturday, so I'd love to see you. I'll be doing my thing from yesteryear, so I hope you can make it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chico. At this time, we'd like to move on in our recognition, and we'd like to recognize Jennifer Green Gast as the ESD #2 Citizen of the Year. Ms. Leifer will be presenting this award to Jennifer Green Gast.
Okay. Good evening, board, Mr. Edwards, all of you. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to celebrate one of our very, very own in the Human Resources Department, Jen Green Gast, if you'll come out, please. She was awarded the Bastrop County Emergency Services District 2 Citizen of the Year for 2021. The fire chief and the office manager are not here tonight. They're sorry that they weren't able to present the award. They're a little busy this evening. The ESD2 encompasses 200 square miles, 5 fire stations that go from Bastrop to Page, and Jen's name was submitted by station number 4. In recognition of personal commitment to the great yoga classes, safety, and well-being of the members of the Bastrop County ESD2, please help me congratulate and honor Jen Green Gast, our Citizen of the Year 2021. And here are some photos of Jennifer in action when she's out there being the yoga instructor, fire department member. So.
Thank you, and thank you guys for serving on the school board. You know, Lisa's a mom. She's got kids at Nina and a student at BMS, and so they just wanted you to know that they appreciate you guys a lot too. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Where do you want us to stand?
Thank you, Jen, for representing us so phenomenally and being the Citizen of the Year. Panay will also be recognizing this evening our BISD teacher and staff for fall semester perfect attendance.
Okay, so you guys have heard us talk about the Perfect Attendance initiative that we started this school year. We started this initiative for several reasons. Obviously, we want our staff to attend. It's a continuous quality instruction every day, and it reduces the number of substitutes that we are needing on campuses each day. Staff that are present every single day from start to finish, that's considered perfect attendance. If you have perfect attendance for one full month, that's $100 extra stipend for you. We started our initiative in September, so it ran September, October, November, December. If you were perfect attendance all 4 months, you received an additional $100 for perfect attendance for this semester, which gave you a total of $500 that you were eligible for. So we have our totals for first semester. September, we had 403 employees that earned our perfect attendance. October's 391, November was 430, and December was 632. December is a really difficult month. A lot of people want to go shopping, they want to go on vacation early, so it was phenomenal that we had 632 for the month of December. For the semester, we had a total of 88 staff members that obtained the perfect attendance for the semester. This slide represents the perfect attendance by campus month to month. You can see our high school campuses did very, very well with their attendance throughout the semester. This next slide is our campuses for perfect attendance. So you can see that Cedar Creek High School, Bastrop High School, once again, had a large portion of that 88 faculty members with perfect attendance for the semester. The last slide I have for you might be hard to see out there, but that's a list of all 88 staff members that earned the perfect attendance for the semester, and we have it marked off by campus level. So we're very, very proud of these 88 people. It's been very, very challenging, and they had perfect attendance for the first semester. So.
Thank you, Panay. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, it's that time of year where we take a moment and we pause to take time to recognize and remind everyone about the important role each one of you on this stage plays in the successful governance and oversight of the Bastrop Independent School District. The theme this year is Rising Above, and it's especially appropriate as you school board members, we, all of us, are dealing with unprecedented challenges, navigating controversial topics, COVID-19, and tonight, unfortunately, a fire affecting some of the families throughout our school district. Your support of us, our administrators, teachers, and our entire campus teams has demonstrated tremendous focus on the key work that you have been elected and volunteered to do for us. The updated priority goals keep us focused on what we should be doing in the Bastrop Independent School District. Your approval of initiatives that directly support teachers and staff, such as the perfect attendance that Panay just spoke about, the extension of COVID leave so that our families and moms and dads are taken care of, bonus checks for extraordinary efforts from our staff in the fall is what it's about. Our teachers, our people feel supported. You adopt policies that allow us to remain agile and responsive to the needs of our district. So please, if you would, please join me in giving them a round of applause for appreciation for January. We have a gift for each one of you we hope you enjoy. And again, on behalf of the entire school district team, we want to express our gratitude, our thanks to each one of you, our school board of trustees, for your continued leadership, commitment, dedication, and all of the thankless time put forth for our students, staff, and communities. Thank you all, sincerely.
Thank you.
At this time, we will move in to our spotlight speaker, and tonight we'll have Patricia Flores, our director of the Bilingual English Second Language Director. Where'd she go? I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Hello, Patricia.
I'm a little short,
Trish.
I know. Good evening, members of the board and Mr. Edwards. It is a pleasure to be with you here tonight to share some information that pertains to our emergent bilingual population and the services that our district provides for these students. So you might be asking yourself, what does that term mean? What is an emergent bilingual student? That is a student who is in the process of acquiring English and has an alternate language as their first language. Sometimes you will hear those students referred to as English learners, English language learners, and they used to even be referred to as limited English proficient. 37% of all of the students who are enrolled in Bastrop ISD are identified as emergent bilingual students. We currently have about 4,500 students in our district. There are 19 different languages spoken across our district, with Spanish being the most common and Vietnamese being the second most common language. Over the past 4 years, our district has seen a significant growth in our emergent bilingual population by about 27%, and 53% of those students have been in the United States 5+ years. So of those 19 languages that are spoken in our district, they include Urdu, Amharic, Mandarin Chinese, Vietnamese, as I said, Spanish, of course, English, and a multitude of other languages. So you might be asking yourself that with all of those languages then, how does our district support students in acquiring that second language, but also learning all of the content that is required? So we're very fortunate that we provide 3 different program services that are approved by the Texas Education Agency. The first of these being our Bilingual Transitional Early Exit Program. This is a program that is offered to students in grades pre-K through 6, in which students receive instruction in both English and Spanish. And the goal of the program would be for students to reclassify, which means they are no longer considered emergent bilingual students within a 5-year span. Our English as a Second Language, or ESL programs, include content-based, which is offered to students who are in grades pre-K through 6, and our pull-out program, which is offered to students in grades 7 through 12. Now, all of these programs require our teachers to be appropriately certified in the content area, in addition to carrying either a bilingual certification or an ESL certification. You can see here that students who are in our Transitional Early Exit Bilingual Program and are in grades pre-K through 1st will receive 50% of their instruction in English and 50% of their instruction in Spanish. In the subsequent grades, you will see that the percentage of English will increase, the percentage of Spanish will decrease, which is in direct alignment with our program goals. Teachers who instruct in our bilingual program are highly skilled and have received training on cross-language transfer. What that means is that students are going to leverage what they know in one language, which is predominantly Spanish for us, and use that in their acquisition of the second language, which is going to be English. Teachers are, as I said, very skilled in doing this, and we do this in every content area across all of our grades in the bilingual program. We also utilize sheltered instruction practices in which our teachers are helping students acquire English through the medium of core content classes. So in addition to the services that we provide to our students, we also work very closely with our parents. Last year, we were able to provide a variety of services to them, especially to support them during the pandemic year and how to help students as they were engaged in online learning. So I hope that helps give you just an idea, just a small glimpse of the program services that we offer to our students. And at this time, are there any questions with our programs?
Yes, thank you. That's a great presentation. On the sliding scale of English versus Spanish by the grade levels, is that something that's dictated by the state of Texas, or is that something that we've customized for our district, or that's standard in the industry?
It is dictated by the state of Texas for certain programs, but not for ours, that it's early exit transitional. So we have done that because research shows that the more support that a student can get in their native language, the greater the foundational basis that we build for them, which is why we have designed our model in that fashion.
Awesome. And that model, has it been around for several years, or is it new this year?
No, it's not new. We actually refined it and kind of got it in better shape, I will say, my second year here, so the 1920 school year.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Any other questions for the board? All right, thank you very much.
Yes,
Great job.
Thank you.
All right, this time we'll move into our open forum. The board encourages comments from citizens of the district or from district employees. Anyone that has signed up and wishes to speak, either as an individual or as a representative of the group, may do so at this time. The board asks that comments pertain to public education. Remember that the board may not discuss or act upon any issue that are not posted on our agenda. If an issue mentioned is listed on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion to that issue until the appropriate time during the meeting. At no time will the board entertain a question from the audience or ask that all audience be respectful of other speakers and presenters. The board will not allow the use of derogatory comments toward any individual staff member, teachers, or board members. The board has adopted a complaint policy that are designed to secure at the lowest administrative level a prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns. Complaints brought by students or their parents may be heard in accordance with the policies FNG Legal and FNB Local. We will be taking speakers in the order that the requests were received. We allow 30 minutes for open forum, and we have one speaker signed up to speak this evening. Therefore, the speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak. Our speaker tonight is John Barger. Mr. Barger? Pass? Okay. Thank you. All right. Before we move into our reports, I want to do a little recognition too. Miss Nancy Barrientos is filling in for us. Nancy, it's great to see you back, and thank you for coming back and filling in for Noli, and we look forward to getting her back as well. And but it's good to see your smile. So thank you. All right. Let's move into our superintendent's report and board discussion. That'll be curriculum report. We have a bilingual annual report. Patricia Flores. She's back.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so the Texas Education Code, Chapter 89, requires that all school districts who are implementing a bilingual or ESL program provide an annual report to the school board. So this is going to be our 2021 report. As stated just a few minutes ago, we operate a transitional bilingual education program here in our district with students receiving instruction in both English and Spanish. You will see on the slide that we have about roughly 1,500 students who are receiving bilingual education here in our district. Of our ESL programs, content-based and pull-out, our content-based, again, is the objective is to foster English language development, but with this one, it's through all 4 core content areas, which means that all of our teachers in English, language, arts and reading, science, math, and social studies carry an ESL certification, as opposed to the pull-out program that does the same, foster English language development, but specifically through English language, arts, and reading. Currently, we have about 2,700 students who are receiving ESL instruction. Over the course of the past 4 years, you can see that our emergent bilingual population has grown significantly. I apologize, the very bottom of the slide seems to be cut off, but I can tell you that in the 2018-19 school year, we had 3,014 students that were identified in our district. This school year, we have 4,447 as of yesterday. So you can see that it is coming to a 27% increase with the average of about 300 kids that we are identifying and enrolling every school year, in addition to the students who are already here. Every year at about February in the spring, all identified students are assessed through the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System, or TELPAS, as it is commonly referred to. The purpose of this assessment is to gauge the English proficiency growth of our students across 4 language domains, which would be listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Within each of those 4 domains, the students will be rated as either beginning, intermediate, advanced, or advanced high. Each of those scores will come together to give us a composite score of where students are rated. So you can see here that in kindergarten through 2nd grade, we have about 47% of our students who were rated as intermediate, which is really pretty good depending on when they came to us, and we would expect a 1-year growth for our kids. So it's good that you see that the bulk of our kids are at intermediate, advanced, or advanced high, with only 30% being at beginning. In grade bands 3rd through 5th grade, you can see that we moved up into advanced at 41%, almost 10% at advanced high. Students in 6th through 8th grade were at 44%, so they kind of remained the same there. But with students in 9th through 12th grade, which you can't really see on that very bottom row, is that we had 53% of our students who were not rated. So it's really hard for us to gauge how much gain the students would have made, where they would have been rated, because we had over 50% of the kids who weren't assessed, and that could have been for a multitude of reasons. You know, with many of our students online last year, it could have been possible that they didn't come back to finish the TELPAS assessment. The writing samples might potentially not have been collected due to the winter storm that we had in February, so a multitude of reasons there. As I said earlier, the goal of the program is for our students to acquire English, and so we want them to be able to increase in their proficiency at 1 level every single school year. But what you can see on this slide here is across our district, the bulk of our students either stayed the same or could have potentially decreased in their proficiency. And this again could have been done due to the fact that we had a lot of students who were in online, and it was very difficult for us to continue to foster language development just based on the situation that we had last year. With our STAR assessment results, you will see that across the district, our emergent bilingual population is lagging a bit behind our monolingual peers and the state, except for 4th grade reading, where you can see that they did parallel our monolingual students. With our end of course assessments, again, you can see that, yes, our emergent bilinguals need a little bit more work to be able to catch up, but, and that is across our district. So, the program, at the end of every year, we examine all of our emergent bilingual students who are in 2nd grade on up to see whether or not they will meet reclassification. And in order for a student to reclassify from emergent bilingual to a non-emergent bilingual, it means that they have to score advanced high on every single language domain, which means they're advanced high in listening, speaking, reading, and writing, plus pass all of the language arts STAR. So the state increased that rigor about 2 years ago for us. So you can see that in 2019-20, we had about 37 students who met reclassification criteria. Last year, we were down to 7. But again, remember in high school, we had over 53% of our kids who weren't assessed with TELPAS, and if they didn't, then we couldn't potentially consider them for reclassification. We know that our STAR scores were lagging a bit behind last year, so that also factors into that. So it is something for us to continue to work on. Our L department provides professional development to all staff who works with emergent bilingual students. So you can see here for our paraprofessionals, they are a huge part of the work that we do with our students. And so you can see there that we provided them support with everything from assessments to even how to conduct small group instruction. And for our teachers, we were able to train over 106 teachers last year with everything from solidifying our bilingual instructional framework to our sheltered instruction practices, and also offering a multitude of ESL academies to continue to grow the bank of ESL teachers that we have in the district. Parental involvement activities were something that we continue to strive to do or offer services from our department, and you can see here of just a sampling of the things that we were able to accomplish with our families last year. Our department is also always actively looking to recruit or retain bilingual teachers. It is very competitive, I will tell you, with districts in our area, but you can see that we increased our stipend from $4,500 to $6,000, plus we offer an additional $500 bonus at December for returning teachers. So again, that is an effort to remain competitive with the school districts around us. So it's looking pretty good in terms of like what we're able to offer our teachers. And I'm also happy that I worked very closely with the Human Resource Department, and I'm able to attend the different job fairs with them to continue to actively recruit bilingual teachers. So in absence of having bilingual teachers, the Texas Education Agency requires us to submit an application for an exception to the fact that we don't have bilingual teachers. And so as you know, that is a shortage across the state of Texas. It's not something that's particular to Bastrop, but you can see that last year we filed for 42 bilingual exceptions, which equates to about 924 students who are not receiving bilingual education. We were very fortunate that we did not have to file any waivers for teachers who are required to have an ESL cert. So we do pretty good in that area. So that information that I just shared with you is a required assessment that Chapter 89 requires us to report out to the school board. Our department went above and beyond that and engaged in a self-assessment using a rubric that is provided by the Texas Education Agency with respect to different areas of program implementation. The first of these being our program model and design, the staffing and professional development that we offer to our teachers, instructional design, looking at lesson plans and curriculum, looking at methods and resources, family and community development. And we use the continuum that you see on the bottom of that slide to be able to rate ourselves and think, where are we in the implementation of these different areas for our program? And so based on that, we did set some goals for this year. Excuse me, the first of these being to implement the Summit K-12 program. Now, this is an online program that is going to help our students increase in their English proficiency. We were very fortunate that we were able to do that district-wide this year. And so I'm very pleased. Some of you may have seen Mr. Rios, the teacher at Cedar Creek High School, was awarded, he had the second highest gains for his kids across the state of Texas. So our teachers are doing really good work with this program, and I think that we're going to continue to see strides with it. We also brought our bilingual teachers in during the summer for Curriculum Council to identify essential standards for Spanish language arts, again, for our biliteracy instruction for our grades that are doing the 50-50 model. We continue to work in sheltered instruction to make our practices really solid, and we have several what we call champions. Those are teachers who are receiving a stipend to go and attend additional trainings, and they're receiving coaching, and they're really being those catalysts on their campuses to be able to advocate for emergent bilingual students during PLCs. We have that at both of our intermediate schools and one of our high schools. We are focusing on newcomer teacher preparation. Some of you may know we have had an influx of newcomer students in our district, and so we are actively working to see how we can support those. The 42 bilingual exception classrooms, we have provided PLCs on those campuses to be able to work with those teachers and all of the nuances that deal with working with students who are not receiving bilingual instruction but are in an ESL classroom. And we are focusing on our English language proficiency standards, which are the TEKS for language. And then also, how do we embed language objectives into the work that our teachers are doing every day. We also have identified very targeted intervention services for our students who are struggling to read. And so that was something that we are working very closely with Reba King on to be able to determine how do we design those services. We also were very fortunate to hire a parent liaison through our Title III funding, and this individual has been a catalyst in reaching out to our families and working to support them and just grow their knowledge and their experiences of how to support their students with school-related activities. And then the collaboration efforts among our instructional program directors. I'm very proud to say that I work in a district in which the collaboration happens all the time. We don't work in silos, and for all of us at Curriculum Instruction to be able to take a vested interest in this population of students is very rewarding to me. And so I'm very pleased that, again, working with the Director of Early Literacy, Director of Curriculum, Director of Special Programs, we have really come together to think about the programs that we're defining for our students. So that's our program, annual report. Any questions?
I have one, Patricia. So what you're saying is that, or I believe I understood that, the students that were not in the, with the bilingual teachers were in an ESL situation. Yes, and those, all of our teachers are ESL certified correctly? Or
yes, at the time of this report, yes. All of the teachers that those students were placed with, yes, were ESL certified.
Okay.
This is last year's report.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And also on assessments with COVID, you know, and different things like that, do you feel that we're caught up on those assessments? I know that one of your charts showed that not all the assessments were possibly being able to be accomplished due to COVID and the kids not on the campuses. Do you feel now with these objectives that we're caught up or have our arms around the tree here?
I think so, especially since we're back on campuses. Our TailPass window will open on February 21st, so the fact that all students are on campus, yes. I think that we should see a significant change in that because our kids are here, and we're able to really work with them to get them ready for TailPass. Yes, sir.
Awesome. A lot of great things there. Any other questions from the board?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to recognize the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce for 100 years of service. Dr. Lee.
Thank you so much. Becky Womble, the president and CEO, regrets that she was not able to join us as planned tonight. She and her team are doing some first responder work, providing food and deliveries of food to first responders. So we will still read this resolution so that everyone can help us celebrate our partnership with the Chamber, which is very meaningful. So I'll read this. Whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce celebrated its 100th anniversary on January 14th, 2022, and whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce has been building Bastrop's future since 1922, advocating on behalf of its membership, which has grown from a small group of committed and energetic business owners to a membership of nearly 750 established and aspiring business members and organizations. And whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce is the largest business organization in Bastrop County, whose mission is to be the principal advocate for business, prosperity, and economic sustainability for the Bastrop area. And whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce represents local businesses on citywide, countywide, and statewide issues such as economic development, education, healthcare and life science research, transportation, natural resources, and overall quality of life. And whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce works continuously to foster effective partnerships between the public and private sectors. And whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce serves as a leader in championing economic opportunities for our community and securing our community's long-term future. And whereas the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce enriches our public schools through its support of school building bond referendums, the We Believe in BISD initiative, the growth and development of BISD students through internships and work-based learning opportunities, and the strengthening of partnerships between school leaders and the business community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Bastrop Independent School District do hereby recognize 2022 as 100 years of the Bastrop Chamber of Commerce. And we will make sure that the Chamber of Commerce, that Becky Womble receives a copy of this resolution, but I do know that we have a board member here. Norm Glenn is in the audience with the Chamber, as well as Barbara Caldwell, who sits on the Ambassador Committee, who is also a longtime volunteer and mentor in our public schools. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. All right, our financial report and our administrative service and human resource report, as well as our police department report and operations and communications, will all be for information only for the board. And at this time, we'll move into hopefully some exciting news on our bond update. We have a representative here tonight from Stantec. Scott, it's a little tough to see here. Good to see you, Scott Wilcox. All right. And it looks like you have somebody with you too, Scott.
Yes, sir. So we brought Christy Bickle to go over the elementary schools, and she is our project architect for the projects. So she will cover those slides, and then I'll cover the Cedar Creek High School, Erhard, and the other bond projects that we have.
Awesome. Welcome.
Super. So here's the clicker.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm giving an update on elementary schools. We have two project sites. One is at the Colony. The other is at the 100-acre site, which is off of 8, 12, and 21. Come on. What am I doing here? Uh-huh. Can you bring that back up?
This is why the board sticks to paper. This would happen to us every meeting, so.
Can you bring that back up? I thought I was doing it right. It's a little arrow.
While you're working on that, we'll just stay there. We'll move into, just cover our consent agenda right quick. We'll keep moving forward and we'll get that worked out. We'll move into consent agenda at this time. Would any board member like to pull any consent agenda items as discussed for discussion? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. And we have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, this time, looks like we'll just move right along in here to our action items. Before we do that, Ms. Collins, do you need the PowerPoint as well? All right, well, we're gonna work on the, oh, he says he has it up here.
Thumbs up, Christy.
Thumbs up, Dr. Lee.
Big screen then.
All right. Okay. Ooh. Should I be pointing a different place?
She's back there. Nobody's gonna stand up calmly.
All right. So, there we go. So, this is kind of a blow-up of the Colony site. The main entrance, which would be on the north side off Sam Houston, is the parent and visitor parking. So the parents would come in here and loop around. The bus will actually be off a feeder road to the left side, so they'll be separated. Parent drop-off and bus drop-off. Service is also towards the back, so it keeps all those activities separated. The main entrance is off the parent loop, and the bus entry is off the bus loop on the south. The 100-acre site is very similar. It's on this much larger portion of land. We've situated it as best we can to maximize the future potential of the site. But again, it's got that the visitor and parent drop on the north side, and then the bus drop and the service on the south as well. So the general layout of the floor plan is on the north side near that red area. That's kind of the main entry where the parent drop is. So basically, you come in that main entry, and then you have a secure vestibule to take visitors in through the reception. And then once you have access into the building, you've got the north bar, which is on the top right, which is the blue, which is the pre-K and the kinder. And then the library is actually in the center. There's a lot of transparency through that library from the front plaza to that outdoor play in the back. Then on the lower left is, again, more classrooms in blue, which would be the first grade, and then your art and music, your fine arts. And then to the bottom right, you've got dining, which is in the green, and then the gymnasium. And then there's a stage actually between them that opens up so that you can actually use those spaces more flexibly. This is actually a two-story plan. So this is the first floor. Then the second floor has mostly classrooms. There's a few admin areas on the second floor. There's a workroom specifically on the second floor, some counselors, but you've got your second, third, fourth, and fifth grade. There's kind of a bridge element that connects that north bar with the south bar that kind of traverses the library below. The concept for both of these schools is a walk through the park, and you know, Bastrop has many parks to select from, but we kind of picked Bastrop State Park and McKinney-Russ as kind of the two inspirational parks for the two different schools. The 100-acre site, we've kind of drawn from different insects that you would find at these parks for the wayfinding and just for the to make each school's identity separate and a little different. The colonies, the Bastrop State Park, and we've kind of selected some different birds that would be found in that park as their wayfinding and identity as well. Now this slide kind of shows the front entry. You've got that lower drop-off canopy, and this is the parent drop, and then the higher canopy that indicates the main entry of the building. Partially under that canopy, you've got the entrance, but then it's also a glassed-in library area, so it's very open, and you can kind of see the library from that front courtyard plaza area. And this is just kind of the bus entry in the back. The browner brick block to the right is actually the gym, and we're looking at trying to find ways to add additional outdoor play as part of the gym. But again, you have a nice canopy for bus drop-off and pickup. The materials that we're looking for is we're trying to keep this as economical as possible, but we have a mix of tilt wall, but then also brick, some limited metal panel when it comes to like soffits, and we're trying to bring in some wood look metal panels as well to kind of bring that nature feel into the building. So there's also a few vertical fins that help with some sunshade in those larger windows, and we have a pop of color with those. They're planning to be green at this point, but kind of gives some interest to the building and some texture and some variation to the facades. So this is kind of our vision of what the reception is, where you come into that secured vestibule and then you come into the reception area. The admin area is behind here. It is all secured. Once you get buzzed in, then you can go into the main lobby of the building, which this kind of shows that entry once you've been let into the building. You can see to the right is the glassed-in areas, the library, and then you can start to see that bridge I was telling you about that connects the two bars on the second floor. We're also looking at bringing in some wood elements at that stair to kind of bring that warmth of the nature into the building, and then graphics as well to kind of supplement that concept. And this is a view of the library. Again, kind of that openness, lots of daylight. If you look kind of past the stair, you can kind of start seeing some pops of color, which is part of that wayfinding when it comes to the animals or the birds or the insects. That is kind of a wayfinding, and it's kind of part of a learning opportunity as well. As a view of the cafeteria, the second story bridge looks down into it. Everything's very wide open, easy to kind of maintain visibility throughout the school for the teachers to supervise, passive supervision, and then also those doors to the right open up to that interior courtyard as well, so they could have maybe outdoor dining opportunities as well. And it's just a picture of the gym. You can kind of see to the left that kind of door opening. That's a movable partition that actually opens the gym into the cafeteria. Again, just to add more flexibility to the types of activities they can do at this school. And this is just kind of a graphic showing one of the wayfindings that would be part of the entries to those different classroom wings. so that, you know, if a kid knows what grade he's looking for blue or if he's looking for red. So it's just kind of honing in on those wayfinding opportunities. Now I will give it to Scott.
Okay, so we're going to go through the Cedar Creek High School renovations. On the first floor of the main academic building, you can see here the colored sections would be the areas that we would be working on in the project. On the two ends of the wings, we have some teacher rooms and restrooms. So on the first floor, there'll be 2 of those added in. We have 9 classrooms that we're adding to this first floor, and then 2 additional restrooms down in the counselor area there. On the second floor, on the ends, we definitely we have the same setup with the teacher rooms, and then next to those, adjacent to those, are the science classrooms, the 2 new science classrooms. And then we were able to get 5 additional classrooms into this plan on the second floor, as well as 2 new restrooms in the counselor area. So this kind of gives an image of the current situation in that space that we're looking at renovating. You can see the color sections offer the wayfinding, and then the open spaces here are where we would create the classrooms and the science rooms. And this would be kind of an image showing what it would look like after the construction would be complete from down that corridor. This also kind of shows you one of the items was to secure the classrooms better. So you can notice these windows, we would have opaque tint on those window film, and then the colors kind of keep the wayfinding matching the existing coloring that's in the school today. And then on the tops of those windows, we're allowing the light to come through there so that the hallway doesn't get too dark. Okay. Next project is Erhard Stadium. So as you probably know, it's under construction, so we wanted to give you a little update on the construction progress. Just a quick reminder, this is the layout that we had presented earlier. The first slide here just kind of shows moving dirt and leveling out the field. This slide just shows how the dirt's been prepared based on the geotech specifications and getting ready to put in the drainage system. And then this slide is showing, actually I think it was last week, they had prepared for the curb pour, which is a curb that goes all the way around the track to hold the field in place, the turf system. So that's still on target to get done in early March. And then the other project's just a quick update on where we are. So the Bastrop High School Phase 1 just kind of got through an SD phase. We'll start DD and start hopefully get something out in a month or 2 on that, so you can start seeing some of those plans. And then MENA just kind of got through the DD phase. Sorry. All right, any questions?
Yeah, the designs that were shown tonight and concepts look really well. How are we doing on budget? I know that everything's went up. Is what you're showing us tonight, can we accomplish that within budget?
We feel pretty confident that those, what we've seen tonight, sorry, I keep hitting the button. What we've seen tonight, we can manage through those. That is kind of part of the challenge with us, just being able to show what we, we're kind of slow in showing what we can give you, because we want to make sure that those have all the things have been vetted out and the budgets are close enough to go ahead and go out and for bid. So, but it is a process. I think Mina will probably be close to ready to show that one in either next month or the following month. So, yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions from the board? All right. Thank you very much. Thanks
Thank y'all for
coming
your
out.
time.
That's great.
All right. All right, this time we'll move into our action items. We'll consider approval of a resolution for the Bastrop Central Appraisal District Renovation Project. Fawn Cullens, our Chief Appraiser, is here tonight. Good to see you.
Mr. Edwards, board members, thank you. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I wish to thank you for this opportunity, the Bastrop Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you our notice of proposal of renovation for the Appraisal District facility. So what's unique about the Appraisal District? Well, of course, there's many things, but when it comes to you as the school board, and the property tax code states that if we want to do any remodel, renovation, we want to change out any carpet, we have to have 3/4 of our voting entities say yes. So 8 out of our 10 have to say they approve the renovation or remodel. So that's our county, our school districts, and our cities. So with that, we have our current facility here. Our current facility was constructed in 1998. And in 1997, the Board of Directors purchased the land and began the process of the construction at our location at 212 Jackson Street. The construction was for a 12,000 square foot facility, and it was completed in 1999. At that time, the facility actually housed the appraisal district, collections, they actually collected taxes there, and it was also home to McCreary, Veselka, Bragg, and Allen, MVBA, who you are familiar with. They occupied the building also. Around 2001, the collections of tax dollars was turned over to the Bastrop County Tax Assessor, and collections and MVBA moved to the offices within the courthouse at that time. Of course, now they are now located at their new county facility at 211 Jackson Street, which is across the street from the CAD. So we all know that term location, location, location in real estate, and what we're using that term for our process is that location, location, location is also a major factor as it relates to the appraisal district. The location of services within our facility plays a major factor in the quality of customer service we can provide. Currently, the photo on the left is our reception desk. You walk in the front door, boom, you're on top of the receptionist. We might be able to handle 2 individuals right there as they walk right in the door. Our receptionist has no protection. They're exposed. Then the photo on the right is the waiting room for our customers. All our customers sit behind the receptionist. We also feel that this is a security issue. With the location, the most of our customer traffic involves 2 departments within the appraisal district, and it's our mapping department and it's our applications department where we handle our homestead and agricultural applications. So we feel that a remodel could help us enhance our customer service. And how do we think that? We believe that if we can move the receptionist back into the current customer waiting room, if the customer waiting room would be moved to the converted porch area, and if our 2 high-traffic departments that are located at the end of the 2 corridors were moved closer to the entrance, by changing the location of these services, we would enhance customer service by providing a better flow of customer traffic. So with that being, is that this room that you saw here would actually be closed off and would become a reception area, and it would be a protected area, a secured area. And then this porch area that is underneath, that is covered with the pillars, the covered porch, We would be enclosing that, it would become heated, and it would become a customer waiting room. So actually, customers would be in an area in front of reception. So the two areas that are most traffic is mapping and applications. We have two long hall corridors. The photo on the left is the corridor that takes you down to mapping, and the corridor on the right, the picture on the right is the corridor that takes you down to homesteads and ag. We feel that those need to be moved up front, and we would move our mapping to the business personal property, which is the photo on the right, and the photo on the left. The photo on the right is the doors that goes into our current Board of Directors room, and we'd be converting that to the application for homestead and agriculture. It would become a one-on-one customer service area where individuals and property owners can sit down one-on-one with a customer service representative to complete their homestead applications. And we'd be able to handle at least 4 new workstations. Right now, we can wait on 1 person at a time. We would be able to wait on 4, and then it has room for growth, that we would be able to grow as the county continues to grow. So with that, the potential impact, the present Bastrop CAD facilities with remodeling could be converted into efficient office space to provide better customer service. We propose to use an estimated $400,000 of committed reserves towards this project. These are funds that when our budget at the end of the year, we haven't spent all our funds. We have reached out to you and the cities, and we've asked you if we could retain those funds in committed reserves so that we wouldn't have to come back to you in the future and say, hey, we want to do a remodel project, we need money. So we have $400,000 right now that's committed to a remodel project. The estimated cost on the project right now is $600,000, so we would be proposing to finance $200,000 of that. We believe that we could do that in a construction loan. That would be a 1-year loan that would term in 2023. So then this would be a 2023 budgeted item for our cities and our county and our school districts. So increase in values. Yeah, everyone can tell you about that. You get an invitation to come see me in May or see one of our appraisers. But this is broke up by the county and then the school districts and the city. So Bastrop School District, your total market increase for 2021 over 2020 was 13.42%, and then we broke it out as to single-family residence was at 14.78, commercial went up 11.65, rural land went up 15.94, and vacant lots went up almost 30%. With the increase in values, we have an increase in protests. And so we like to track our informal hearings by school districts so that we can see where we're actually having the most of our hearings. And you can see that in 2021, Bastrop ISD actually had 4,001 protests that were filed, which is up over 900 accounts. So that's 900 additional counts that we had to hear with no additional staff. And we have to get that all done by certification so that you can get your numbers, so that you can set your school rate or your tax rate and all that other stuff. So with the addition of staff to handle these protests, we think that the current office space needs to be adjusted to accommodate these changes. This slide here was just to show you the net taxable value countywide and how it's increased year over year. It continues to go up. And then the next is our growth in accounts. And our growth in accounts is with new subdivisions coming in, the number of accounts that we process and we take care of, value, continue to go up. You guys, you did approve our budget last year. Our budget was adopted for 2022. We are going to bring on 2 additional appraisal staff to try and assist us with that. But as with anything, we're all feeling the growing pains. So with that, we feel that this remodel and renovation would assist us to complete and timely get the values to the entities. We feel that with the accelerated growth of our county and with legislative changes every 2 years on how we do business, with the addition of new staff to efficiently keep up with the changes, and to continue to provide a positive service to property owners and taxing entities of Bastrop County, we request that the board sign a resolution approving our proposal to renovate. I believe in your packet, I also gave you an allocation chart for 2022, that of the $200,000 project, we are probably with that borrowing those funds, the contribution from Bastrop ISD for 2023 would be $78,656. We would ask that in addition to our 2023 budget when we present that to you guys in a couple months. And I do want to thank you, Dina. She came to, I had a luncheon at the office because I wanted to be able to show what were the growing pains that we're having in our office. And I was very thankful. Dina did come to my luncheon and got to see what we were dealing with. Thank you. So any questions?
Yeah, just right quick, Ms. Collins, would it be fair to say that that building, that you're basically renovating the front half of it, right? I mean, nothing's going to go on in the back half from what I saw?
Yeah, correct. The front half will see the major renovations. The back half will be all new flooring and paint so that it's all uniform.
Right, and out of that, good, and then out of that $600,000 bid, does that include furniture and computers and stuff that you may need or anything like that, or is that just construction?
No, that's just construction. We have other funds set aside for those items.
Cool. And then one last question, more out of curiosity. So, and I'm not an expert in financing, you can ask Ms. Dina over there, but a lot of times if we want to go borrow money, we got to go for a bond. But the appraisal district's able to go get a loan through a financial institution?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and then y'all's board, the appraisal district board, is the one that votes to do that?
Correct.
Okay.
But we can't do that unless 8 of the 10 on that resolution, in that notice of proposal that we submitted, we had to indicate to you how much we estimated the cost, where the funds were going to come from. So that's the reason we have $400,000 committed, and we're only asking $200,000 of our voting entities. So you have to, you initially give that approval for us to go ahead. Does that?
Right.
Yeah.
And then out of the $400,000 committed out of reserves, does that zero out the reserves account,
Yes,
or are you giving you anything left in there? Possibly some savings on the construction cost, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We will probably end up zeroing that out because if we're estimating that we'll probably be able to add another 120 to that to bring your number even further down because we feel like we don't want to have to ask you for funds. If we can pay for it with the funds that we've committed, we would like to do that.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely very familiar with the facility, and the flow can definitely be more efficient. And you know, hats off for the last several years. Y'all really strived to work on customer service, and you know, I think if this is something that would help, I think it's a great idea.
If we could make it a warmer facility. But it's, you know, if you've been there, it's very institutional. It's very cold. So that's my presentation.
Awesome.
Yes.
I don't understand the committed funds. Can you explain that to me, please?
Yes, ma'am. So at the end of every year, or after we have completed our audited, any of our fund balance in the appraisal district, fund balance, can be given back to the entities. And typically what we've done in the past, if we've asked the school districts and the counties and the cities, do you want us to give you this money back, or would you like us to commit it to these items that we think we need for the future? Okay. So that in the future, we're not coming to you for the $600,000. We've already taken those funds that were excess in the prior 2 or 3 years, and we've marked them as committed. Now, in the future, if we don't use those funds as they are committed, we have to give them back. Does that help?
Accumulation of funds is being good stewards through the year.
Okay, I guess that's where does that accumulation of funds come from? I guess is my question.
The budget.
We didn't spend all our money in our budget. I didn't have enough staff, so there was salaries that didn't go pay. Yeah, okay. That was so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions from the board? All right, great presentation. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution for the Bastrop Central Appraisal District Renovation Project as presented.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Collins.
Thank you. On behalf of the Bastrop Central Appraisal District Board of Directors, we thank you very much. Thank you for your support also and all that you do for the community.
Thank you. All right, moving along here, we will consider approval of the 2022-2023 Bastrop ISD school calendar. Our presenter is Kendra Mock.
Good evening, Mr. Edwards and school board members. Tonight, I'm going to be sharing the options for the 2022-2023 instructional calendar for BISD. Our district improvement committee is charged with recommending an academic calendar that best suits the needs of our students, families, teachers, and staff. So our committee got together and reviewed several iterations of the calendar and provided valuable feedback and suggestions to improve our calendar for the academic success of all of our students. Throughout this process, all campuses and members of the committee are given an opportunity to impact the final product shared and voted on by all BISD stakeholders. Here is a timeline of the work the District Improvement Committee put in to bring the current calendar drafts you have before you. We met as a committee in December to review, upgrade, and provide feedback on working drafts. And before and after our winter break, committee members had an opportunity to make themselves available to staff on campus if they had any questions during the window that was open from December 15th to January 7th. Here you see some of the parameters around our instructional calendar. We ensure that the school year ends by June 1st and we recognize federal holidays. Our calendar totals 187 total days for teaching staff with a minimum of 75,600 instructional minutes for students. As in prior years, BISD will apply for the TEA Professional Development Waiver for 22-23. Now here you see a side-by-side look at the calendar options for 22-23, along with that gray column that compares our current school year calendar. Boxes that are highlighted in yellow indicate that a difference exists between the calendar drafts. And you can see that calendar A totals 169 student instructional days with 170 total days on calendar B. The last day of classes, Thanksgiving break, and student winter break are identical. Calendar A differs from calendar B in early release days, which were used this school year for staff as professional development and planning days. Continuing with this comparison, you can see that our proposed dates for spring break match both the ACC and UT instructional calendars. Bad weather makeup days, teacher contract days, and graduation dates do not differ between the calendar options. The difference in dates here comes in with the proposed dates for staff development and preparation days. On calendar A, the reduction in early release days you saw on the previous slide translates to full professional development days. Overall, the biggest difference between calendar A and calendar B lies in those staff development and preparation days. And you know these days are a vital part of the planning and training necessary to provide the best educational opportunities for our students. As you saw earlier, voting for our instructional calendar options was made available to BISD staff and community December 15th through January 7th. We had 1,484 respondents, and their votes were split pretty evenly, with 51% voting for calendar A and 49% voting for calendar B. So with that, I'm happy to entertain any questions about these calendar options.
There's a big swing in those early release days from B to A. What's some of the feedback? They weren't effective, or?
A majority of the feedback, in fact, was about those early release days. Some teachers and staff members expressed that the days were useful for them in planning. Others expressed that those days were difficult because of low student attendance, shorter class periods, maybe truncated time for planning. As far as the community, there were some community members that spoke favorably of those early release days, and there was quite a few parents and family members that felt that those early release days maybe put a strain on their schedule, especially if they're working parents.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You mentioned the TEA professional development waiver. That we've done before and we will be doing, can you explain what that was? I don't recall.
Sure. This waiver allows a district to train staff on just educational strategies and planning designed to improve student performance in lieu of instruction during the school year. So you can apply for this, and it's a maximum of 2,100 total waiver minutes to use as professional development minutes. Typically in the past, we haven't used anywhere near that amount of minutes, but it's available.
So the waiver is to be able to use those minutes, or to be able to not use all the allowable minutes?
In lieu of instructional minutes for students, we would be providing that time for teachers.
And so that's just a choice for a district, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Ms. Monk, thank you very much. This time I move to approve the draft A of the 2022-2023 Bastrop ISD school calendar as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion. Is that a second? Kelly, second. Okay, perfect. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate y'all's hard work and all the people who are involved in that.
Thanks so much.
All right, now we'll consider approval of the Bastrop County Elections Administrator contract. Dr. Lee?
Good evening again. So yes, we do have a contract for election services with the Bastrop County Elections Office. They've been conducting our elections for quite some time now. So this continues that process so that we can prepare for a May election.
All right, we have any questions from the board? All right, at this time I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the Bastrop County Elections Administrator contract as presented.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving along, Dr. Lee, please don't leave. We will consider approval of an agreement to conduct joint elections between Bastrop County and Bastrop ISD and other entities for the May 7th, 2022 election. Dr. Lee?
Yes, so you will notice that this agreement to conduct joint elections is significantly larger than it has been in the past in terms of the number of entities that are participating. That is in part and primarily due to the fact that our election process has changed. So on election day, you can vote at any of the locations in the county just like you can during early voting. So this agreement could change if some of these entities end up not having elections. That's possible.
By having them all in there, does it bring down our cost?
It does. We share the cost, although we're the biggest ones, so we have the bulk of the cost.
All right, any other questions from the board? I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I move to approve the agreement to conduct a joint election between Bastrop County, Bastrop ISD, and other entities as presented.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Dr. Mix, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Moving along to item E, consider calling Board of Trustee election for May 7th, 2022 for place 5, place 6, and place 7. Dr. Lee?
That is correct. We have both an order and a notice of election to approve. The period for filing elections began today. That will end on February the 19th, so this is for May 7th. If we end up not having contested races, we would not need to hold this election. But for now, we will assume that we will need to, and I need your approval to do so.
I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I move to call a Board of Trustees election for May 7th, 2022 for Place 5, Place 6, and Place 7 as presented.
We have a motion and a second by Dr. Mix. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. All right, this time we'll move to item F. We'll consider approval of resolution for the board approving examinations for accelerated or to earn credit or resolution of board approval credit by examination audit process. Our presenter is Heather Christie. If you could please explain that for us, that'd be wonderful.
Absolutely. Good evening. We've bringing to you this evening a couple of resolutions really to update our local policy in regards to credit by exam. So these are examinations that students can take in order to be able to earn credit for that course or grade prior to receiving instruction in that grade. And so really these updates and these resolutions kind of look at that and make three updates. The first one relates to our kindergarten students who are wishing to do credit by exam in order to skip kindergarten and go on into first grade. Previously, we've used local assessments for that. The University of Texas, who is our main vendor that we use for our other credit by examinations, now offers that for kindergarten as well. So we just wanted to be clear that that's the assessments and the vendors that we'll use for kindergarten. The next update that we have relates for students in grades 1 through 8. Typically, students who are looking to test out without prior instruction do that during the summer. But code allows 4 times during the year when that can happen, and on extremely rare occasions, we do have students who may choose to test and families who choose to test in the middle of the school year. So we look at that, and again, we use University of Texas credit by examinations for the grade that they're looking to skip. But what this also does is just state that we also have local assessments at our discretion as well to be able to consider as part of that process any information or content that's already been taught in the year that a student in the grade that the student would be going into. So for example, if we had a second grade student who was wanting to test and wanted to test in the middle of the year, then we would use a credit by examination from the University of Texas for the rest of that student's second grade year. But then we would use local assessments given up to that time to also get data on content in third grade that the student had already been taught in that fall semester, so that we would have that for consideration in making that placement decision in the middle of a school year. The last piece that we have is updating the assessments that can be used to offer credit at our high schools in 9 through 12. And so the legal policy allows AP tests, the credit by exams from University of Texas, as well as CLEP tests. And in those resolutions, we are adding the SAT, the ACT, and the TSIA-2. As we continue to grow, both our advanced academic program and our district at large, we just want to make sure that we have all of these tools available to us to be able to look and to meet student needs as we grow and as we have students continue to move to our district. So that's really kind of what's outlined here in these resolutions. Any questions?
Yes, Ms. Christie, out of curiosity, how many children a year roughly test out of their grade?
Out of a grade, I would say in any given year, we might have really 1 or 2. I would say less than 5. Typically, this is used much more at the high school for credit, for earning credits.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And
Ms. Molly?
by adding the other tests, it's not all of those tests. It's a choice. Any would be applicable.
That we would use, and we'll also work with a district committee to look to make sure like which courses are appropriate for those specific tests, right? It's not that any English we would use SAT. We would look at those specific tests and align those with specific courses, but wanted to bring this to you for approval first before we would kind of do that next layer of work.
And that would be the district's decision, not the students'?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions from the board? All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the resolution of board approving examinations for acceleration or to earn credit and the resolution of board approved credit by examination audit processes as presented.
We have a second. We have a motion. I'm sorry. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Christie.
Thank you very much.
All right. This time, we'll move to item G. We'll consider employee's resignation without good cause and proposed complaint to the State Board of Educator Certification for abandonment of contract. Ms. Leifert, good to
Hi.
see you.
Good evening. Nice to see you again. Unfortunately, this evening, I bring to you 4 employees that have abandoned their contract. As you know, in the Human Resources Department, along with campus administration, we do everything we possibly can to try to keep them in their position. And if the situation warrants, we will even consider moving them to a different teaching position within the district. We do our very best to keep them in that teaching position. There are certain situations where we can work with them, medical reasons. If it's for themselves or if it was for an immediate family member, we work with them on a medical certification form where we ask a physician to sign justifying that there is a medical condition for them. Additionally, we work with someone that their spouse is being transferred or promoted and they're moving. We get verification of that information and we're willing to let them out of a contract as well. So we do try in various areas to support them in different endeavors in their life. Unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. This evening we have 4. We have Kathleen Brown. She is Cedar Creek Intermediate. She's an RTI teacher for reading. Term contract. She started with us in November of 2018. She left us December of 2021. She did not provide any type of medical documentation to abandon her contract. I have Michael Lewis, Bastrop High School teacher, science, probationary contract, started with us in August of 2020, left December 16th of 2021. He told us he was leaving to care for his parents. We worked with him to try to get that medical certification. He was not able to provide the information noting that he was taking care of his parents. We have Rose Versteinen. She's at CCM, Cedar Creek Middle School. She's an ELA teacher, probationary contract, started with us August 7th, 2019. She left on December the 26th, left with no notice. She had questions about medical release, but we never heard back from her when we inquired in more detail, trying to get some information to help her with, so we wouldn't have to do contract abandonment. Our last teacher is Dixie Ironman, Cedar Creek Middle School, excuse me, an ELA teacher, probationary contract, started August 2020, left us January 7th, 2022. Once again, she said she was leaving for health reasons. She's already gone. She kind of walked out on us, and we have no medical certification for her. Are there any questions about those 4?
Any questions from the board? This time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the board accept the recommendation of the superintendent and that the board makes a finding that good cause did not exist under Texas Education Code Section 21.210 for the resignation of term and or probationary contracts as indicated for the 2021-2022 school year for Michael Lewis, probationary contract BHS, Kathleen Brown, term contract CCIS, Rose Versteinen, probationary contract CCMS, and Dixie Ironman, probationary contract CCMS. The administration and board did not consent to their resignations. Michael Lewis, Kathleen Brown, Rose Versteinen, and Dixie Ironman have failed to perform their contracts, and the board authorizes the superintendent to file a complaint with the State Board of Educator Certification to seek sanctions for their abandonment of their contract.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Leifert, thank you. All right, moving along here, we have information items, which consist of the Board of Trustees calendar of events, enrollment, single budget purchases more than $50,000, and budget development calendar 2022 to 2023 are all for information only, which moves us into our closed session. It is now 7:09, and the board will now convene in a closed meeting session to discuss the following items as allowed, which would consist of real property, Government Code 551.072, and attorney consultation, Government Code 551.071, to conduct with the district attorney in person or by phone on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the district under the Texas disciplinary rule of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Any actions the board wishes to take as a result from the discussion in closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in the open meeting. All right, this time we will move into closed session.